Hi guys, I'm Elizabeth. I'm from conifercrow.etsy.com, which I'll put over here somewhere for you. Um, I'm here to show you the last of the small Magpie bundles. A Magpie bundle is essentially a junk journal for those of you who don't know what that is. It's a collection of sort of eclectic, vintage, handmade ephemera and all sorts of anything flat that's been bound together, mine are with wax linen, into some kind of cover so that you can use them as a springboard for your own creativity. So you can fill this up with photos, you can fill this up with your own artwork, you can draw on the pages, you can write on the pages, you can pretty much do whatever you want with them. This one is a Wander theme journal, and I don't know how many of you know about Carrie Smith's amazing book, The Wander Society, but I picked that up when it very first came out. It's one of those few books that I pre-ordered in my life, and I have never regretted it since. It's hard to describe in just a few words, but essentially it's an imaginary secret society of people who don't really come together. They come together separately so that they can walk and wander aimlessly and explore their environment and whatever happens. It's sort of psychogeography meets creativity meets secret society, and it's the most fun book, and there's a whole community now that goes along with it. And this is kind of this was very heavily influenced by that. We'll just put it that way. Walt Whitman is sort of their I don't know, figurehead. It's Walt Whitman. What would Walt Whitman do, essentially? But this one is Wander, Free Spirit. It is a fabric cover with high quality sort of decorator fabric. So it's that thick, lovely, juicy, yummy stuff that's so much fun to touch, and vintage laces and vintage trims, all kinds of stuff on this one. This one is one of my favorites, you can tell, but I think that's because of the theme more so than anything else. But let's look at the pages. This is another one where you can tell I started and I couldn't stop. I try to keep these to, they're about 4.5 by 5.5, so about 4 by 6, figure about in size, inches. I try to put 3 signatures in each one, and I try to keep them relatively, squished together so you can add a lot of your own stuff. And apparently I just don't know when to stop sometimes. And this one is one of those that got really thick and really chunky really fast. So yeah, there's a few pages in this one. So let me just flip through, and I'll try and be relatively quiet since I've already talked your ear off. These are envelopes. This is cool. This is a jelly printed envelope that's been coffee dyed over the top. There is stuff inside. I'm not going to dig it out right now. There's vintage children's book stuff with a secret pocket on the edge with some vintage railroad stationery in there for you to play with. I think there might be some other stuff. I'm not sure. Vintage maps. I have lots of vintage stuff. I went to this giant vintage show in April and then again in July and just did some damage. So this is where a lot of this stuff came from. I do like to patchwork the pages together so that you've got this sort of juxtaposition of textures and the texture of the stitching. I love the texture of the stitching. There's a lot of map and a lot of travel theme in this one since it's kind of all about wandering. There are clips on the side with ephemera stuck to them. You can take those off and use the ephemera for your own artwork, either in the book or out of the book or whatever you want to do, and use the paper clips for something else, or you can just leave them if you find them decorative. This is a little tuck spot here with a little simple tag that I made. I love that one. Little booklet so you can do some extra journaling. Another little tag. This is from vintage advertising from a, what is it called? National Geographic. I love National Geographics. Marvelous Minnesota. This also has a flip up, so you can hide some extra stuff under here. More here. More stuff. This is scrap ribbon. I took and sewed scraps to a bunch of old cheesecloth that was sitting around, and it makes the coolest edges on stuff. And it also acts as a flip. More vintage trim. This is a little belly band kind of looking thing, so you could stick something in there. I did on the other side. This is just a tag made of, you know, hiking images with a plain back so you can write on it. Old slides that I got from a vintage store. Just a little decorative. Yeah. I really do know how to speak sometimes, guys. Stuff inside of here. Another envelope. I love these envelopes. Hand-painted paper that I did. Same. More sewn. Little pieces of things. This is just a postcard that I put stuff on so you can use it for journaling, for writing on. Another pocket edge. Like I said, I went a little nuts with this one. Actual photos, again, picked up from a vintage shop. Apparently the 1980s is vintage now. I didn't know that. Some little collages and some little collage elements. Vintage music. I love these old music books and old maps. And I really like the way the coffee dyed, or this particular paper takes the coffee when you coffee dye things. It's way thicker than regular paper. I think I mentioned it in another video, but if you haven't seen that one, these are fountain pen friendly. So if you're a fountain pen user, I'm a big fountain pen chick, and you can write on this stuff and it does not go through. There's a little bit of feathering, more so than if you use it undyed because it's been, you know, wet down, so the fibers are a little bit more open. But it's generally speaking, it will take fountain pen like a champ. Some more little pieces. Little fabric tab, a flip out, so you can stick things down and have them flop out. I loved this illustration from an old children's book. A little tuck here, and some extra paper. Space for journaling. The graph paper so you can plan out your next trip. You can draw yourself a map of your wanders if you want to. More hand painted papers. Tag made out of a photo and fabric. That's fabric. It's all printed on fabric too. More photos. I love how this looks. I probably could have taken some of the stuff on the edges out, some of the clipped bundle stuff on the edges, but why? So there's a secret journaling place here, and there's a secret journaling place inside of the envelope. So with the Wander Society emblem, for those of you in the know, and even better, it's a pocket on the edge too. So there's another little booklet in here. There's so much space in this one, you guys. Whoops. Helps if you put it inside where it's supposed to go. What is wrong with me today? I told you my fingers are all sticky and crazy. You know what? I don't care. I will put it back later. More vintage lace. Another pocket with a tag inside. See if I can get that one back in. I can. There's a pocket behind here and then a pocket here. That's a little booklet too, so you can add more stuff. I think we're getting to the end here. I love this. A little pocket booklet here as well. Pocket at the back. Just tons of pockets. All right, so this is the end. When you get to the end, just flop it around and take this vintage seam binding that's been coffee dyed and wrap her around a couple of times and tuck it through. That's all I do with it. Sometimes I pull this through here just to make it extra secure. But that is the Wander bundle, the Wander Magpie bundle. I'll have the link to the shop up here or up here somewhere. And thanks for watching. I have 4 more of these. If you're seeing them in order, I have 4 more of these, but they are the large size. So this is the last of the pocket size, the ones that fit pretty well into any book or any bag. And thanks again for watching.